When I say self-care, what is the image that comes to your head? The universe isn't just out there, it's interacting with you. Claim your power by embracing the unknown. This is Tracy with Tracy Talks, and I'm here to ignite your curiosity. Don't just listen, embrace it. There is a lot happening in the world today. And I don't mean to be hyperbolic. The world that we live in has information coming to us from every direction. The information that is coming to us is not always truthful, is not always accurate. Everybody has an agenda. Everybody has an angle, especially if you're listening to someone who is on a program, on a channel, who has a platform of a lot of followers. There is an interest there to make money off of clicks, off of subscribers. There is nothing inherently wrong with that, but there is a very gray area of how do you get more people to listen and how do you get more people to believe you and follow you. So why am I saying this? So much is coming at our bodies and we're receiving all of this information. And everybody's like, but it's just information. No, it's not. It's not just information. It's not just facts. Our bodies are trying to process it. Our bodies are trying to sift through it. Our bodies are trying to figure out what to do with all of this information, this energy, everything that we feel, our feelings. We're trying to figure out what do we do with it. And it's like riding in a little bitty boat on the ocean, and we're feeling the waves, we're rocking back and forth, we're trying to hold on, we don't know what we need to do, and we can't get out of it because we're just trying to navigate through this life. When I talk about self-care, I'm not talking about getting a pedicure. I'm not talking about getting some Botox. I'm not talking about having a spa day. We need true self-care. And what is that? Sometimes self-care means letting the text, letting the phone call, letting it just sit there. Not responding immediately. That looks like self-care for some people. Self-care looks like not always jumping in to save someone. Because you can't, because you don't have the bandwidth, because you don't have the emotional grounding and stability to handle somebody else's problem. So you have to say no. You have to let them figure it out on their own. That is what self-care looks like. Self-care looks like cleaning up your kitchen so you have a space in your house that you wake up to and you feel good, you feel rejuvenated, you feel grounded. That's what self-care looks like. We have this unrealistic celebrity definition of self-care right now. When I say self-care, that's not what I'm talking about. Sometimes self-care looks like telling your partner no. I don't want to do that. We don't have the money to do that. We don't have the time, the resources. I don't want to do that. That's what self-care looks like. We've all just become accustomed to just going along with the flow because we're so afraid of conflict. We're so afraid to speak our truth. We're so afraid to express how we really feel. Expressing your true feelings, that is self-care. We are really in a time in life when things are really expanding beyond our comprehension. Having a home base, having a place where you're grounded to, is going to become important. Having some place that you know you can actually reset and recalculate and recalibrate and come back to your core is going to be important. That is self-care. Self-care may be buying a new book, finding a place where you can escape into a different world for just a couple of hours. That may be your self-care. And the second half of that is really determining what in your life can you and do you actually have control over? And focus on those things that you actually can change and impact. And let everything else fall away. Our bodies are not designed to take on all of this conflict. We're not designed to live in constant conflict. And I'm approaching these situations now as, do I need to have an opinion about this? Do I need to invest emotional, valuable, precious energy into this? And if I cannot and do not need to change something in my immediate environment, I am probably not going to be investing any energy into it. Our personal energy is a valuable resource. It is a limited commodity, very limited. Self-care looks like recognizing how limited your energy is, how valuable your energy is, and how important it is for you to intentionally invest in the people and the ideas and the beliefs and the things that you truly want to invest in. I spent time with friends last week, and I had a friend who kind of came into an already existing conversation. And so there was three of us, and two of us had been talking. And the third one came in, and she was like, "Wow, you guys seem very somber." That is how I am trying to live at this point. Unless somebody is actually in a crisis in my vicinity, I am not going to invest emotions unless I can actually influence and change the situation. My energetic emotions and resources are needed in my life for the things that I actually have to do and want to do. The days of me getting upset about stupid stuff, they're over. The days of me getting upset about trying to keep somebody in my life who clearly doesn't want to be, those days are over. Our world is changing. Our lives are changing. And again, I don't want to be hyperbolic and be like, oh my God, everything is coming to an end. The world that we know is coming to an end. But in reality, it kind of is. The simple life that we used to have, those are kind of gone. That's a thing of the past. So many of these young people have no idea what world it was from the 70s, cannot even imagine the 70s and 80s, that just seems like the 1800s for Gen Xers. I mean, that's that same kind of comparison. These young kids are built for this type of technology, this type of life, this type of environment. And as Gen Xers, we're going to have to work at it. We're going to have to intentionally continue to learn, intentionally continue to try to keep up if we want to. I don't feel like my body was necessarily built for this, and I'm having to train myself. I'm having to intentionally be selective on life right now. I feel like this time is one of those moments like when you get on the airplane and you have a child next to you and something happens on the airplane and the oxygen mask dropped from the ceiling, you're always told to put the mask on first because you cannot save your child if you cannot breathe. And I feel like this is a moment where we have to put the mask on first. We have to save ourselves before we can even think about saving anybody else. And then there's times where once we get our mask on, in real life, we get to choose who we get to rush in and save, who we get to give money to, who we get to try to fix their life yet again. Self-care looks like letting someone else learn their lessons, letting someone else figure it out on their own. I've never said that self-care is the easy path. Because it's not. It's not always easy to tell somebody no. It's not always easy to tell somebody you have to figure this out. And I've been using the term bankrupt. And this isn't about money, but a lot of us are emotionally bankrupt. You don't have anything to give anybody else. I hope you spend some time today doing something for your soul that nourishes you, that replenishes you, that grounds you. What is your self-care routine? Thank you for listening to this episode of Tracy Talks. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe, and share with others who would enjoy listening to this podcast. Friends can find Tracy Talks available on iTunes, Spotify, Substack, and YouTube. Hit me up on Instagram and Facebook at More Tracy Talks. And until next time, we meet again.